Was attributed to one Minister of State instead of the other, for which the ministry will issue a clarification shortly. So this is as per top government source that claimed that it was a technical error. To know more about it, we have CNN News 18's Payal Mehta with us. Payal, so government sources say that this was a technical error and the question was to be attributed to another Minister of State instead of Meenakshi Lekhi.
Yes, what we are given to understand that tomorrow was a day in the Lok Sabha when the Ministry of External Affairs had its questions. Now, these are part of the unstart questions. Basically, these are the questions that are not actually put out on the on the Parliament, and these are actually written answers. And these are written answers which are available on the ministry's website and also available on the Parliament website, the Lok Sabha website. So when a lot of reporters saw this particular question, they put out the question the way it is. And they put this out, to which of course Meenakshi Lekhi's response has come. But obviously, what we're given to understand by way of top government sources is, A, they are not denying the answer to that question because it's a very, very important question concerning Hamas and banning of Hamas. That answer is approved is what the government has told us. But secondly, if it's in somebody's name which should not have been there, that is a clarification which is coming in saying that the government has basically said that this is a technical error. Instead of Meenakshi Lekhi, probably the question should have been attributed and has been approved by Muralidharan in this case is what I'm given to understand. So the Ministry of External Affairs shortly will be giving a clarification because the matter is appraised with the topmost of the ministry, including Mr. Jaishankar is looking into the matter right now is what I'm given to understand.
All right, Payal, please stay with us. We also have CNN News 18's Aman Sharma with us on the story. Aman, a very good morning to you. So, a huge controversy has now erupted over Meenakshi Lekhi allegedly signing a parliamentary question, which she denies that she hasn't signed it. And now the opposition is sharpening its attack over the minister. So, how do you see this, and what can be expected next as far as the winter session is also concerned?
See, Anjali, let us first understand the process. The process is that when parliament questions are asked, they are answered by the ministry. It is usually the bureaucrats who prepare these answers, and the files then go to the ministers for their approval. Ministers approve these answers, read these answers, sometimes changes are made, and then it is. So these questions are also distributed amongst the minister concerned as well as the ministers of state. So External Affairs Ministry has Mr. Jaishankar, who is the External Affairs Minister, but there are also three ministers of state, Mr. V. Muralidharan, Meenakshi Lekhi and Rajkumar Ranjan Singh. So in a way, the question answers are also divided amongst many ministers, and every file is approved by the concerned minister. In this case, as my colleague Payal was just mentioning, what seems to have happened is that this particular question, maybe the file did not go to Meenakshi Lekhi, the file went to another MOS, but by mistake or by a clerical error, the answer has been attributed in her name. That does not mean that the question is anyway forged or wrong or the content is wrong. The question is and the answer are perfectly valid. They are there on the Parliament website as well as on the Ministry of External Affairs website. Also features this particular question and answer. The only question here seems to be which MOS has answered it. Is it Meenakshi Lekhi who was supposed to answer it and has signed on it, or it is in some other MOS or one of the other two MOSs who are supposed to answer it? Maybe due to an error, Meenakshi Lekhi name has got attached to this answer. As Payal was mentioning, the Ministry of External Affairs will soon issue probably a clarification to set to rest this matter.
Right, Aman, please stay with us. Payal, coming back to you. So as Aman stated that it might not definitely be a forged response. It can be that some other MOS must have given the response. So, but the opposition is clearly not in a mood to listen to all the reasons behind it, and they are certainly going to make this a big issue. What do you think can happen on Monday when the winter session begins? Resumes.
The response is not forged, Anjali. That the government itself has clarified that this is a response which is approved by the minister, Mr. Jaishankar himself. B, if you look at the question list on that particular day, which is yesterday, you will see a lot of questions have been attributed to Mr. Muralidharan. Possibly in a technical error or in a clerical error, this has gone to Meenakshi Lekhi's name. So that's where the issue really raises. But remember, the whole Parliament storm this session has been around how Mohua Moita used her privilege as an MP to allow somebody to answer questions. So the whole thing about using the question asking questions as an issue has been raised against Mohua Moita, and Mohua Moita was expelled yesterday. So obviously this is fodder for the opposition parties, and the opposition parties will continue to ask the government, saying that if the so-called quote-unquote technical error was allowed to Meenakshi Lekhi, a senior minister in the government, and this has really happened at the behest of the government? And how is it that MPs cannot get away? How is it that MPs can be questioned on things, and how is it that the benefit of doubt should not have gone or could not have gone to the MP? So that's the question that the opposition parties will raise, and I'm sure, like Priyanka Chaturvedi was just mentioning, she's a very, very diligent member of parliament. She said that she had in fact checked with the government to see how this really came about, and Priyanka Chaturvedi will also write to the Ministry of External Affairs as to why this happened and how serious this breach is.
All right, Payal and Aman, thank you so much for getting us all those details on this controversy that has now erupted.